Hello, everyone. I'm Ryan from Fireside Yankees, and I know this prospect report is late by a few days, but we're dropping it today on Wednesday, and we will have it cover the last week of minor league action, so we're not including yesterday's minor league action. I know Somerset was rained out, so that's kind of fortunate in terms of covering this, but we're not going to be covering Tuesday's games. We're going to be covering those games next Monday, so just give you guys that heads up. These stats only reflect the games played from Monday of last week through this past Sunday, which was Father's Day. With that being said, let's get into today's video. We're going to jump right into it. You can now follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and of course, this YouTube page. My name is Ryan Garcia. This is Fireside Yankees. You can follow me at Ryan Garcia ESM and check out our written coverage of the Yankees and all of your favorite New York sports teams on EmpireSportsMedia.com. Without further ado, let's get into today's video, and let's start by talking about infielder Dylan Hasso. Now, Dylan Hasso is 23 years old, and he's in AA, and this past week he hit 2 triples, had 8 total hits and 2 walks. He has 9 home runs in the season, a 146 weighted runs created plus. He has hit for a solid average of 282 and has slugged at a 488 clip. That's a 207 isolated power. He's hitting for more power than he has in years past. His career high in home runs was 11 last year in 120 games. This year, he's already at 9 in just 55 games, so there's a good chance he sets a new career high in home runs. He's another infielder who's having a breakout season. I know that Rock Riggio is someone we've talked about a lot, but Hasso is another guy who's having a quiet breakout. He's someone who I might have to rank in my top 30 this time around. When we talk about the deadline update, I know that I did not rank Hasso in my top 30 this time around, but he has maintained really good performances. He has continued to hit the ball well. He has continued to make a lot of contact, and while I do have my concerns about that 6.8% walk rate, the walk rate's coming up a little bit lately. It's not as low as it was necessarily earlier in the year, so I do wonder if there's a little bit of progress that can be made there. Again, I try and project future results, not as much just, hey, this is what this guy's doing right now, but in his last 20 games played, he has a 9.8% walk rate and a WRC plus of 162, so 160, so really impressive stuff there. The game power continues to be there. It's not like we're seeing him walk more and then we're seeing him not hit for as much power or not hit the ball hard or not hit home runs. Those things are still happening. Still has 3 triples, 2 doubles, 2 home runs over that stretch. Maybe not the same home run pace as earlier in the year, but he got off to a really good home run pace. Has slowed down since. That's not too surprising. But I've really been encouraged by what we're seeing from Hasso this year. And if you can continue to keep this up, we could be looking at someone who, again, gets ranked in the top 30, and with his versatility, he plays some second, he plays some first. He's actually still 22. I don't know why I said 23. Not old for the AA level at all. Could be in AAA at the end of the year. Rule 5 eligible, I believe, next year. I don't think it's this winter, or it may be this winter. But he is someone who could get traded at the deadline, could be someone who stays in the organization, gets placed in the 40-man roster. We do know that the Yankees don't have a ton of minor league infield depth at the higher levels of the minor leagues. It's really him and Riggio, obviously Lombard Jr., but I don't consider him depth. I consider him this number 1 prospect who the Yankees are trying to cultivate and not rush through the minor leagues. So Hasso is someone who's a right-handed bat, can play an important role in either the Yankees' deadline plans or maybe their plans down the road as a utility guy. So very excited there. Let's move on to TJ Rumfield at the AAA level. TJ Rumfield, another one of those guys where, he's probably going to rank somewhere in the 30 to 40 range in top Yankee prospect lists, but has consistently been a contributor at the minor league level. Rumfield this year is having a really good season, a 128 weighted runs created plus. He's hitting for more power than he has in terms of raw power. His 190 isolated power and his 474 slugging percentage are higher than last year, and a big reason for that is he's lifting the ball more and he's pulling the ball more. We're seeing more pulled fly ball rates. He's in the 90th percentile in pulled fly ball rate. As a left-handed hitter, there are a lot of ballparks that fit that kind of swing well. There are some exceptions. He won't play well in the ballpark like Fenway, but we talk about, let's say, Minute Maid Park, or I guess Daikin Park, Yankee Stadium. Those are 2 ballparks that jump to mind. Chicago, the guaranteed rate right field is a really good ballpark for that kind of swing. I wonder if a team that has a first base need, a team that doesn't have a stable first baseman, a team that's in a rebuilding window, if they're looking to maybe acquire a first baseman, TJ Rumfield could be an attractive piece because he's a very solid defensive first baseman. I think that's something that can attract some teams. I think of a team like the Reds even as like a, hey, if they needed a first baseman, this would be a really good fit for them. Their current first baseman is Spencer Steer. Spencer Steer is not a bad baseball player, but he's played bad baseball this year. He has worth negative 0.7 WAR, and I don't think you want a bad offensive first baseman, although he's been really good defensively at first. So Steer is someone who maybe does get replaced. Maybe someone the Reds are willing to move on from, and Great American Ballpark would be a great fit for any hitter, especially TJ Rumfield. So I know the Yankees have a logjam at first. I'm not trying to sit here and say the Yankees need to ship him out tomorrow, but I do recognize that the Yankees don't really have an opening at first base right now, and that he could serve as a more dynamic piece for a different ball club. Even a place like Miami, Miami's first base situation, they have Eric Wagaman, former Yankee, playing first. Wagaman has really struggled this year after a really nice start. He is not someone who I would consider to be a dynamic defensive first baseman. He's been worth -3 defensive runs saved and -1 outs above average. Could a team like Miami call in on a TJ Rumfield, knowing it's not going to cost a lot to get him, and maybe acquire him? I think Rumfield is a big leaguer. I think he's proven at this point that he can be a big leaguer, and I hope that the New York Yankees give him the opportunity to be a big leaguer, because I would really love to see him make his major league debut. I think he's earned it. He has really showed a lot of promise throughout his minor league career, and I think it's going to blossom into a productive, not maybe insane major league career, but certainly a productive one right now. Moving on to the next player we're going to talk about, and it's Spencer Jones. Spencer Jones, outfielder, AA, Somerset. It's very, very hard to talk about Spencer Jones and, not mention, number one, the high strikeout rates. Their strikeout rates are still really high. He's striking out 35.3% of the time, but he also has 12 home runs in 40 games. He hit 17 in 122 the year prior. His career high at the minor league level is 17. He's never hit more than 17 in the minor leagues. He's on pace to crush that number. And look, the slugging rates are way better than last year. The walk rates are way higher than last year. He's making better swing decisions. He's hitting the ball harder. He's hitting the ball in the air. He's doing a lot of really good things to plate, but he's striking out a lot, and that's still a huge flaw to carry, and one that's hard for you to overlook when we're talking about position players. Still a really good defensive center fielder. Still a really good, just a really good player in general in terms of just production, but when you're trying to project, again, he hit 2 home runs this week against Boston, 2 home runs against the Portland Sea Dogs, 228 weighted runs created plus. We'll say at only a 20.8% strikeout rate, but is that strikeout rate going to come back up? Are we going to see him strike out, 6 times in 6 games? Are we going to see him strike out, 8 times in 4 games? Something of that nature. It's a very high variance profile. It's hard for me to sit here and confidently tell you that Spencer Jones is going to hit at a very high level at the major leagues, even though I do believe in the glove, and I do believe in the speed, and I do believe in the power. I'm not sure I believe in the profile just yet. I'm still skeptical of if he's going to be a big leaguer or not, but he's still a top 10 prospect to me, and that's no shade to Jones. It's just a very hard profile to project. He's still someone who has immense levels of talent, and just one click away, right? If he struck out 30% of the time, this guy is a big leaguer. If he struck out 30%, we can cut that down by 5%. I think he's a big leaguer with the power he's displayed so far. So not a lost cause, just still a very skeptical eye on my end. Then we got Brennan Davis, who has not been on a prospect report this year. I even debated throwing him on this because, can you really be a prospect if you've been in the minor leagues this long? And by definition, yeah, you can. He hasn't made his major league debut. He's still technically a prospect. And Brennan Davis, former top 100 prospect, and not just top 100, like a top 50, top 30 on some list guy. He was really, really, really impressive with the Cubs earlier in his minor league career. Injuries, inconsistencies, strikeout rates, they all kind of ate him alive. He was released from his minor league contract at the end of the season. Last year, granted minor league free agency, and the Yankees scooped him up. He has hit 5 home runs in 11 games in AAA. This past week, he hit 2 more home runs. He's seeing the crap out of the baseball. The strikeout rates are still high. You still have to worry about his ability to make contact in zone, but it's not a dastardly high strikeout rate. It's 23.9%. The zone contact rates is not great. I will say this right now, 67.2%, not very good. Not very good. Has to get better. His zone contact rate last year in AAA was 74.9%. So if we can get that zone contact rate to 74.9%, if that's the number we can get it to, with the power he's putting up, he can be a big leaguer. And I kind of like Jones, right? Lots of raw pop, lots of upside, lots of potential. But, the contact rates are going to scare teams off of trusting that profile. With that being said, though, let's move on to the next player we're going to talk about, and that's George Lombard Jr. That's our final position player here. George Lombard Jr. hit his first Double-A home run, hit his first Double-A triple as well, did both in the same week. Lombard is now up to a 98 weighted runs created plus and a 340 on-base percentage. Seeing a little more pop or a little more game pop in his swings now. That's encouraging. Look, last year and this year, especially in Double-A, have not seen a lot of game power, but if we can see more doubles, more triples, more, and I lied, that was not his first triple. He has 3 triples. If we can see more power. I just need some more home runs, need some more doubles. He could be someone who makes it to AAA by the end of the year. I mean, he's not off to a great start, but he's off to a start that is better than where I expected him to be at, considering he's 20 years old. Jason Dominguez in his first 76 Double-A games back in 2023. It wasn't his first stint at Double-A, but it was his first full season there. He had a 99 WRC plus entering the All-Star break, and a 28.3% strikeout rate, a 145 isolated power. So not a lot of game power, not a lot of contact, not a high weighted runs created plus. And he still managed to turn it around and get things going. So, when it comes to George Lombard Jr., can he get the power going? Can we start seeing some home runs? Because if we can, we could be looking at a player who is a very productive player at the big league level, and not just someone who I say, yeah, he can be a big leaguer, like a star. The defense is really good. The base running has 22 steals in 60 games, only caught 4 times. At Double-A, he has 11 steals in 36 games, only caught 2 times. So, good stolen base rates, good stolen base percentage, success rate, George Lombard Jr., really good defender, really good base runner, good bat-to-ball skills, really, really good plate discipline, very smart hitter, and really, really has a lot of raw power. He just hasn't translated it to game power yet. And it's not like we're seeing ground ball rates that are really high. His ground ball rate from last year is down by almost 4%. Fly ball rate is almost up by 4%. Line drive rate is up a little bit. Pull rate this year, 46.6%. Last year, 47.6%. So pulling the ball at roughly the same clip, while we're also seeing fewer pop-ups. Infield fly ball rate down from 18.7% to 4.2%. More fly balls, more line drives, more solid contact. He just has to start generating that into results and into home runs. Moving on, we're going to talk about some pitchers now, and let's start with Kyle Carr. A lot of walks this week, 8 walks, but he only allowed 2 runs in 2 starts, 10 and 2/3 innings pitched. Carr is someone who has continued to kind of have the same story this year. A lot of ground balls, doesn't have a high ERA, but the strikeout to walk rates are really high, and you need that to be, or the strikeout to walk rate is really low. You need that to get better. More strikeouts, fewer walks, or it's just not going to translate into the high levels of the minor leagues. Brennan Beck pitched this week for Somerset. He also made 2 starts, did not allow an earned run. Not a lot of strikeouts this week. I believe he only had 7 in 10 and 2/3 innings pitched, but continues to be impressive. Pitched against a very good Portland Sea Dogs lineup and pitched very well. He's someone who has just been impressive with Somerset, and I'm really excited about how he's performed. All he's done is perform at a very high level in the minor leagues. Every time he pitches, he's been really good. It's just a question of whether that's going to translate into the major league levels, or if he's just going to be a good minor league starter who doesn't really do much at the big league level. He has progressed pretty rapidly through the minor leagues given the amount of time he's been healthy for. Health is really the number one reason why he's not a big leaguer right now, if we're being honest. The command's really good. Good secondary pitches. Despite not having a ton of velocity, he still gets swings and misses. I think Beck is someone who, there is true back-end starter upside here, where he's a back-end starter on a quality playoff team. That can definitely be something he does one day. We'll just have to wait and see how he continues to develop. Let's talk about Brock Selvage, too, fellow teammate at the Double-A level. Selvage, he was awesome. No walk, 6 strikeouts, 5 and 2/3 innings pitched. 1 run, comes off a solo home run in the first inning. Now through 2 starts in Double-A, 3.12 ERA, I think an 18.8% strikeout to walk rate, a 45% ground ball rate. That's really encouraging because Selvage really struggled in Double-A last year and had the bicep issue that required season-ending surgery. If Selvage can come back and continue to be the guy we saw in 2023, not 2024, that's going to be really encouraging. He's got a new curveball. He's got a curveball sweeper, gyro slider, and a 4-seamer. Also has a changeup he'll throw in there, but doesn't really throw it very often. He's someone who I think can be an impressive big league back-end starter, but he has to continue to develop a little bit, and I need the velo to come up a little bit. He was sitting around 92 miles an hour in that start. Would love to see 93. If he could sit 93, that'd be great, because the fastball shape isn't very good. someone who, like, hey, there are real flaws here, but when he's right, top 10 prospect in the organization, easily. I mean, the strike throwing abilities were a big thing for him before. Wasn't there last year. Starting to see a little bit more of it this year, which is really encouraging. And I hope that we continue to see him flourish, because I really, the ceiling's very high for Selvage as a young left-handed pitcher with good secondary pitches. Just have to figure out how to get the fastball to be like a quality pitch. Not a great one, just a quality one. And maybe that curveball becomes a really nice weapon for him as well. Let's talk about Cam Schiller, now in AAA with the Scranton Rail Riders, making his second start of the season since his promotion. 5 1/3 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 earned run on a solo home run. Fastball sat at 96 miles an hour. That's really encouraging. And the reason I say that that's encouraging is because there's no way to really tell if a guy making his AAA debut is just amped up for the start with their velocity, or if that's their actual velocity. Cam Schiller was sitting 96.3 in his start against Syracuse. That's his sitting velocity. He's sitting 96. Good extension, probably makes it feel more like 96.5. He can touch 98 multiple times in a start, can get up to 99, throws really hard, really good secondary pitches. That cutter is gross. The sweeper, gross as well. Curveball, always gross. So 4 really strong pitches in his repertoire. Good velocity, good movement. Still would love to see him develop something that can move into righties and away from lefties. That's the one thing I think he's missing. But a very, very impressive pitching prospect nonetheless. A top 5 prospect in the Yankee organization on our list, and someone who has continued to pitch at a very high level throughout the 2025 season. Let's move on talking about Griffin Herring in Hudson Valley. He delivered 6 2/3 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, no runs, 1 walk against the Greenville Drive, and Herring continues to just impress. He has a minor league best 1.14 ERA, minimum 50 innings pitched, 29.3% strikeout rate. I think it's an 8.9% walk rate. Really, really, really good strikeout to walk rates. Doesn't allow home runs, 0.28 home runs per 9. Keeps the ball on the ground at a pretty good clip. It's around 49% on the season. A lot of swings and misses. I mean, I don't know what else to say. The guy is just translated so well into the pro level. I wanted to see some swings and misses in one of his Hudson Valley starts, and we finally got it, which is really encouraging. Herring is just a stud. He's a beast. He's a monster. He's someone who doesn't have overwhelming velocity, but the shapes of all of his pitches are really good. Slider, changeup, four-seam, good extension on all of his pitches, deceptive arm angle. The thing he needs, probably a 4th pitch and maybe an extra tick on the fastball. Those 2 things happen, and big league starter, top 10 prospect in the Yankee organization, without a shadow of a doubt. And there's a lot of projectability for that. He is a big guy, not like super tall, but he's like 6'2", and he has displayed sometimes some 93 to 94 mile per hour fastballs. I think he can get to like sitting 92.5. And people might go 92.5, who cares? Good extension makes that play like 93. And 93 with good shape, that's a good fastball for a lefty, especially with the secondaries he has. And again, if he just has a 4th pitch, I mean, I'm sorry. You've got something moving into righties, away from righties, in the slider and in the changeup. You've got a solid fastball, whatever that 4th pitch ends up being. If it's just, maybe it's a curveball, maybe it's a cutter, maybe it's a sinker, who knows? But he has already established a very important triangle in terms of pitches. Vertical movement, lateral movement, glove side, lateral movement, arm side. Very, 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 very good foundation to build out the rest of his arsenal. Let's round this one out talking about Elmer Rodriguez Cruz. Elmer Rodriguez Cruz delivered 5 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, 2 hits, 2 walks for the Hudson Valley Renegades. And Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, I am very impressed with where he's at. Again, Carlos Narvaez is awesome. That's a tough bullet to bite for the Yankees because you gave him up to the Red Sox. But Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, they acquired this kid for a reason. They believe in this kid. They believe this kid can be a very good pitcher down the road. And seeing the pitch shapes, yeah, he can't be. Sinker is really good. Sweeper is really good. Love the splitter. Solid 4-seamer. Nothing to write home about. It's probably honestly a bad pitch, but from a 3/4 arm slot and as a back-end pitch in your repertoire, not really a high-use pitch, it's fine. Cutter, curveball, 6 pitches. I'd consider like 3 of them above average, 4 of them above average, 2 of them, one or two of them average, and then the 4-seamer below average. So really good depth of arsenal, lots of swings and misses, really high swinging strike rate, really high called strike rate, sitting around 95 miles per hour on the sinker. Really, really, really good velo, really good shapes, really good deception, just can throw so many pitches. When he's got the sinker and he's just attacking the zone, attack with that sinker, it sets up so much for him. Cruz is someone who I think the Yankees are just trying to figure out how to get that consistency in strike throwing abilities, because if he can do that, I mean, good God, this guy could be a really, really, really fun starting pitching prospect, someone who gets to Double-A soon and dominates at that level even. I hope they promote him soon. He deserves a promotion, if I'm being honest with you. He should be in Double-A. With that being said, though, that'll round out our prospect report for this week. Really appreciate you guys tuning in and checking out Fireside Yankees, whether it's here on the YouTube page, on the Instagram, the Twitter, the TikTok, the social media. We all appreciate your support. Also, check us out on EmpireSportsMedia.com. Again, the home of all the Fireside podcasts, Fireside Yankees, Giants, Rangers, and Knicks. And, of course, check me out at Ryan Garcia ESM on Twitter. Written coverage is also on EmpireSportsMedia.com. They're written reports. They're written stuff. I've got some written coverage coming out every single day. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Let's go Yankees, and peace out.
Perfect.